Welcome back, prototypers, life designers. We are in such a sweet moment, which is that you did all of your listening. You developed your prototype that you want to run and test. You expanded on that and tested through Canvas shifts and changes you might need to make. And this is your moment to test it, right? Like snap, you get to go out into the world and let others try on your prototype. There are so many different lenses that you're all looking through. We see this in Mighty Networks. Some of you are designing around your life. Some of you are designing around pivoting your business, unveiling a new product, perhaps moving from in an institution to working and starting your own business. So lots of variety, a lot of flavors. But what is beautiful is that the testing process is the same. How you implement it can look very different, but at the end of the day, you want to test it on those that you're going to be selling your product to, those that have insights about you, those that'll be impacted by this pivot that you're making, so that you have all of those perspectives that then can iterate and further shape the path that you're taking. And most importantly, perhaps show you there's a hard stop, that this direction you're taking it in needs to pivot in itself. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Elisa, and she's going to share about how one very influential, exciting program did its prototyping to grow something into something that is quite fruitful.
There is a world-class education platform that is all over the news these days, and they're growing exponentially. They are a kind of seen as best in class in terms of education and online content. And the founder told me that the initial prototype to test whether or not there was a there, whether or not people would be interested, whether or not people would pay money, was he tested initially through a Craigslist ad. So he posted a Craigslist ad and said, hey, is anyone interested in taking a master class from a major actor or a major chef? And he had a survey, a link in the Craigslist ad, and people filled out the survey, and he had such tremendous volume response just from that ad that he was able to go take that test and get funding for this world-class platform where you can now learn acting from people like Robert De Niro and tennis from Serena Williams. And it all started for a test that didn't cost him anything.
Lisa, that is wonderful. I have two examples that may be helpful. One of them is just, I shared with you my heart shot that I wanted to take the summers off and design my business and life around that. There were a lot of people that were going to be impacted by that shift in choice. First and foremost was my husband. And so as I unveiled my vision and my prototype, he needed to be at the table, and there were changes that shifted based on his thoughts, his needs. Additionally, I needed to sit down with all of my team and have them understand that it meant that if they were going to be working at the firm, there was going to be more work the rest of the year, and was that okay for them? And it turns out most people in my team are parents, and they loved the idea, but I needed to test that. And then the last group to test it on was not as direct, but it was like testing the market of seeing, would clients walk away if we said, from mid-July to mid-August, we're not available to work on projects. And we found through that research, like I've shared before, that wasn't a barrier. The last thing I wanted to share is just for Elisa and I, in developing our Design Your Life labs, we have done a number of them as pro bono, just gifting, because it gave us a space to connect with people, to test the model, to understand what was working and where we might want to iterate. And we chose audiences that we hoped aspired to work with in the future paid, and also that we felt like would have incredible insights. So as you think about if your pivot is a product, don't hesitate to think about whose opinion do I really want, and see if they would be willing to, I'm going to make this up, but if you're developing a new line of cakes, would they be willing for you to come to their event and provide the cakes, knowing that you're going to get insights from those that attended? So have fun, go test. Anything else, Elisa?
Gosh, your cake example made me think about, I saw somebody on Facebook recently. I was in a mom's group, and she had some new kind of photo service that she was offering, and she also needed to build her portfolio to show, like, I'm good at this, and to build a referral network. So just by putting an offer out there in this mom's group and saying, hey, next Saturday, for $10, come and get 20 shots, 20 photos, or whatever it was. And she was able to see, like, how many people were interested just in the comments, right? How many people said, yes, I want that, and yes, I'll refer, and yes, I'll share to my network. So experiments can be super creative and simple. It's just about taking the risk to step forward.